Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. Welcome back to my daily vlog. This is where I get up in front of the camera each morning and talk about the progress and process and feelings and circumstances around trying to make content creation a more sustainable thing rather than just a hobby, since I was laid off some months ago. Nearly a year now it's been. So let's start this kind of like a stand-up format. Start with yesterday. So yesterday was our live podcast editing over on Twitch. We had, I think it was a record attendance. We never had more than about a dozen people there, but over the course of the couple of hours, 23 people, according to Twitch, at different times popped in and out and visited. Several people came over and renewed that Prime sub. Thank you for that. A couple newbies who had just set it up. I saw your messages. Thank you for that. So productive day. Got the podcast edited. Plus got all those folks to visit and hang out and talk. It's always productive. So now that is done, it's just some finishing publishing stuff that I'll do today, which I'll talk about. In the afternoon yesterday, I did what I had hoped to do. I did all of the remaining shooting for the long form video. So that's all in the can. It's on the timeline. It's begun. I'm just kind of still, we'll talk about that's today's stuff. Stats-wise, nothing new to report. We didn't have a new milestone, kind of a slow download and view day yesterday, so just business as usual in the stats world. But over last weekend we had so many milestones. We had the 7 million and we had the 300 plus, whatever, so we can ease off for a couple days, I guess. I'm going to try to apply the gas again today. And speaking of today, that was my accidental segue into talk about today. Today is effectively editing day for that long form video. I shot a bit of it, you remember, prep on Monday, and then Tuesday I did the rest of it. So now I'd hope to get it out Tuesday. I'm definitely going to get that out today. It's all in the can. It's ready to go. Probably, I'm going to guess I have about a 4-hour edit or so left on that. I did about an hour yesterday. And I should get that out by this afternoon. So another new video, new content. It's expansion of the Game Station Pro. It's a high demand video. People are literally asking me for it over and over. So get that out the door ASAP. That's going to be today. Also, since the podcast was done yesterday, I have to get that, just some publishing tasks. I need to get it uploaded and tagged, and George has some artwork and stuff to attach, that I will attach once he gets it. And that'll be ready for tomorrow. So the podcast we edited Tuesday will come out tomorrow on Thursday. Good. I kind of rushed through all of that just because I didn't want to make this a really long vlog. But yesterday I mentioned that, was it Tails the Fox asked me a question down in the comments, and it was just easier to answer in video form. And I thought it'd be more interesting to do here anyway, and easier for me to have stream of consciousness. Tails was asking, what would happen if you got a really good job offer? Would you take it? What would happen to the channel? That sort of thing. And I had several points on it that I wanted to respond, so I thought I would do it here. And it's something I've thought of myself, and all the way back to when this began, right? Because actually, I didn't decide to lose my initial job, right? I was laid off along with, dozens of other people. However, I didn't choose to be I did choose to be unemployed, even though I didn't choose to lose that job, because immediately thereafter, I got offers from a lot of people that said, well, come work for us, move here, come do this. I had opportunities, and I even felt weird back then because I felt like I'm closing those doors where if this was not something I was passionate about doing, I would have run through one of those doors because the opportunity was there. And that actually bolstered my decision to do this because I knew that I was marketable, or at least I was 11 months ago, who knows, that if this didn't work out, that I could reopen those doors and get an opportunity. But what would happen, if I got an offer today? Well, and what would happen to the channel, which is the more probative question. So first, like anybody, it depends what the offer is. Whatever your current job is, if you get another offer, you have to weigh the pros and the cons. My mind isn't closed to an offer if somebody offered me a real job out in the world. As I've said several times on the vlog here, I think what we do here on content creation right now is opening doors to people I would have never met. And, who knows, maybe one of these vendors, maybe Atari says, John, just come work for us or whatever, a pie in the sky dream, but what if, right? What if? That would be very interesting. So I would weigh each one. My mind isn't closed to it, but I'm not seeking work. I'm doing work here because this is really what I wanted to do. But even if something amazing did come along that I couldn't resist, what would happen to the channel? It would slow down because you have to remember, before this experiment started, the channel existed for 5 years, and I was putting out at least a video a week and one podcast a week. I was just doing it in the cracks between work, between meetings, those sorts of things. Instead of editing all day on a Tuesday, I started editing on like Sunday and did 20 minutes at a time whenever I had a break. It was ineffective, it was inefficient, but it got the work done, and I worked a lot of nights and that sort of thing just because it was my hobby. Well, I turned my hobby into my job, which means I'm working less. Probably not, but it doesn't feel like work as much, right? Because what I'm working for is to increase my hobby, really. So I guess I work about the same amount. It's just that I'm always working on this instead of, serving some other master and then sneaking in my work in between. So the answer is, so let's imagine the scenario. If a job offer came and it wasn't right for me, nothing changes. I'm still doing what I'm doing. If a job offer came and I'm dying to take it, it's something I've always wanted to do or never realized I wanted to do, I would have to think hard about it. But if I did it, it wouldn't be the end of what I'm doing here. It would be a dramatic change and slowdown of what I'm doing here, because this is still my hobby. Even if I can't do it for work, I still like doing this. I wouldn't do a blog, every single morning where I come in and stand up and talk about, because I had work to do, right? I would do those things. I wouldn't have as close a relationship with vendors because at best I could get out a video a week or so, maybe, and time to coordinate with those people would be different. So I guess the short answer to the long question is, if it was the right job and I decided to take it, which I'm not inclined to do right now, nothing would end, things would dramatically slow down back to kind of where they were before. So, I guess it's almost to say that I don't know exactly what would change. Things would change, but it wouldn't be the end. In my mind, everything could change. This will always end. Eventually we're all going to be dust. But for as long as I'm here and enjoying it, I'm going to keep doing this whether I have another job or not. It'll just be different and slower. So thank you for the question, Tails. And I had the answer loaded. I was typing tons of stuff. You can imagine typing all that in the comments. I wasn't going to do that. Well, I started to do that, and then I realized, but it's a good question. I appreciate it, and thank you. And it's worth verbalizing. If one person asks, probably a dozen people are wondering. Is kind of how I figure it. So, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and get busy editing today because I have a lot of it to do. And then the evening I have a recording with 1980s Now. So that's mostly on Wednesdays, and this is Wednesday. So thank you for stopping in to check out today's vlog. If you did, if you're here every day, you know that I love you for that. Thank you for being part of my support system and helping me feel motivated to do this every morning, because I need to do it. Have a fantastic Wednesday. Please do something good for yourself if you find an opportunity, and I will talk to you again next day. Bye-bye.